Hey everyone, this is an update on the potential for tornadoes this evening. And this risk for southern Michigan would be after the evening commute, and it would last until the early morning hours of tomorrow. So basically, there's going to be a frontal boundary developing near I-94, and areas near that boundary into the south could see tornadoes. In that hatched area you see, could contain some stronger tornadoes. Um, so let's go ahead and take a look at the high resolution model. And as you can see, it will develop some storms that move through the area and then exit after about 2 a.m. Now, any storms that are near I-94 will be, having optimal temperatures that are anomalily warm for this time of year. They'll have shear, vorticity, and they're going to be along a frontal boundary with a big differential in energy. And there is an STP from the HRRR of a 2, indicating the chance of significant rotation. So basically, along and south of I-94, we'll have to pay a close attention to any cells that develop. So any standalone supercells will have the best chance of rotating. Any cells embedded within the line could still absolutely rotate, probably be a little bit weaker than the standalone supercells. Um, and again, the risk for this would be I-94 to the south, and you can see the high resolution model does develop little cells embedded within a bigger line. Um, so these standalone cells have the best chance of really spinning up, like we saw last week. We had that one cell that um, was alone, was able to suck in all the energy and spin up really fast. Looking at the high resolution, a lot of these are in a line, but not everything, right? So like if you look over here, these are individual cells. These could really spin up. That's where the moderate risk is. As we get into southern Michigan, they're a bit more clustered. So the chance of a significant tornado like we saw last week, if it was like this, would be more difficult to achieve. Um, if a cell is able to form ahead of this line, it could spin up like last week. And any cell within this line could still produce a tornado. It's just going to be probably a little bit weaker than what we saw last week if it's in a line like this. So looking at the HRRR, again, there definitely could be some cells like that one right here that could spin up, but other ones up, up towards Lansing and Grand Rapids are more clustered, so those would likely not. And also it'll be much colder north of I-94. So basically, end of the day, if you're near and south of I-94, so 10 miles to the north, and especially to the south towards the border, chance of tornadoes. Any cell could produce one. Most likely, it would be standalone supercells or embedded cells within the line. Um, so again, there is that frontal boundary. Definitely the potential for rotation. So definitely stay tuned this evening and have a good way to get warnings and pay attention to the radar if you can, because sometimes um, they don't get a warning, right? We have like a cell that kind of develops. The weather service kind of waits to see what's happening, and by the time it drops something, it's a little too late. So a lot of times, I recommend if there's a storm coming in a severe weather threat like this, just be inside, be close to your shelter, just in case.